What's up guys, ZachTCG here, and today we're taking a look at Konami's newest ban list that will be effective from January 1st, 2024. So, there's a lot of interesting names on the ban list right here. First of all, there are Agito and Kelbeck, which basically is the tier element engine of the tier deck. That is a good hit. I will say that. That is a really good hit on the ban list, because I believe that I had the thoughts after Dortmund. Well, this deck is going to be hit on the ban list again, and surprise, it did. But that also means that it slows down, if not completely taking tier out of the tournament and the format right now. But I don't know. Potentially, if I will say, it takes a really good pilot to still play tier elements right now, how the format is going to develop and evolve. You can call it that. Next we have Mathmech Circular, guys. Wow, I wouldn't even believe it that this deck was going to be hit, but apparently it was hit. So, banning Circular really slows down Mathmech by a lot, if not putting it out of its misery, actually. I don't know why I said it. But basically, guys, banning Circular is the glue of the deck. That is just like Prankit, with Meow Meow Mew. So yeah. Banning Circular removes the glue of the deck, which means that the deck could potentially be dead in the start of the new year. But a deck that I look forward to that might sneak into the format is Adegnister Firewall. If you are a really good pilot at Cybers, you could potentially play it. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything else. Let us take a look at Isolde Two Tails of the Noble Knights. I kinda saw that coming. Banning Isolde really slows down Infernoble, if not putting them out of the format. Again, I will say it would take a really good pilot to still play Infernoble, but just like Mathmech Circular from Mathmex, Isolde is just the combo continue thing in Infernobles. Again, if you can completely, defend Infernobles and you can completely show me a combo, then I would love to see it, because I would definitely love to see Infernobles play right now. I will say it's still a really good deck, nothing there, but I believe with these hits on these three decks, that could mean that there are more rogue decks that has a bigger chance of actually getting into the format. Stuff like Fire Kings, Blackwings, of course. What else? Pick a lot of rogue decks could potentially come into the format now, and yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of hopes for the next format. But let us take a look at the cards that are limited. And there's a lot, guys. There's a really lot. So, the limited cards, there's a lot of cards here. First of all, I will say in my defense, I don't know anything about Orcust Harpo Horror. But I believe it was a really good card back in the day. That is why it was banned. But I don't know anything about it. So let's just jump further into the limited list. Redux Dragon Ruler of Boulders. I ever thought that potentially Konami could make either a booster set or a structure deck that was based on these four dragons, the 4 element dragons. But there's also a chance that this deck could potentially become popular very soon. So yeah. We have had Blaster now in the recent, and now we have Redux, so that it could potentially mean that those cards are going to be popular again. Rescue Ace Airlifter and Unchained Soul of Sharara. I will say putting these cards at 1 really slows down those decks as well. But I believe after the recent decks that we talked about, where the cards was banned from, that could potentially mean that these two decks are going to pop off in the next format. It slows them down, but they're not out of the show just yet. And that is also the same thing with Rika. Even though that Sun Avalon, Dryas, and Sunvine Healer is limited to 1, it doesn't mean that Rika is done for. But I have the thoughts that you could potentially just hit it on the next Banlist after the succeed in what's it called, Dortmund in Germany. So yeah, I will say it's not a bad Banlist. As Orcus Harpora, I don't know anything about the World Jellies Justicar, so let's jump over that. Snatch Steel is an old school card that was banned back in the early 2000s. And it has never seen the daylight before now. So, putting it at 1 really opens up for a lot of opportunities. Of course, that makes sense. And that card could potentially be very pricey, very certainly, because of this ban list. If it's not already jumped up in price, it will be. Goes in match, rivalry, and there can be only one. All at 1 really slows down stuff like Eldritch decks and other stun decks. But, I don't know, it could potentially mean that Konami is going after all kind of decks with this balance, and these show it. I can see that you're going after a lot of decks with this ban list. But yeah, guys, let me know down below what is your thoughts on all of the cards so far, and let's take a look at the semi-limited cards. Now, guys, semi-limited cards are only 3. Dino Wrestler Packet drops as the first one. So, putting this card at 2, it really helps out stuff like Dinos, which I'm a huge fan of. Old school cards, that is nice. And it also helps a lot of rogue decks. So yeah, I believe that is really good done from Konami's side. Speedroid Ceratop. Okay. I actually wished for this, that this card would either be on 3 or 2. And it seems to have come true, that wish. Putting Ceratop at 2 really helps out the Speedroid deck. And it also means that Speedroid could potentially take over the next, or not take over the next format, but be a lot more played in the next format. It also helps out with the combos in Speedroid, and I'm surprised by that. Now, the biggest one on this, Pearly Sleepy Memory. I really thought that they were going to limit this to 1, especially after what happened with the Japanese or the OCG ban list, where Pearly Sleepy Memory is at 1. Semi-limited, this card really, I will say, doesn't hurt Pearly as much as Delicious Memory did, but putting it at 1, or not at 1, putting it at 2 really also slows down the draw mechanic that Pearly is doing because of the combos that he can make. And 1 less memory is sad. I love playing Pearly, but when Konami is banning the cards, it really doesn't help out. But yeah, guys, I will say it's a strong ban list this time. Let's take a look at the unlimited cards, guys, and there's also a couple of them. So, guys, unlimited cards back at 3. The first one is Infernity Archfiend. That could mean that Infernity is going to see a lot more play now. I would love to see that. That was generally one of my favorite decks from 5Ds. So yeah, seeing that at 3, it warms my heart. Next we have Kashtira Unicorn. Kashtira was really big when they got a Rise Heart and all of that. We all remember the sad times, the soaping stories about Castira. Then the Castira Rise got banned, and then T Elements got back into the format, and now T Elements is on their way out of the format again, and Castira is on their way back into the format. If they are going to unban Castira Rise Hard, oh my god, that would be the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. But I would say putting it back at free, it helps. It could potentially mean that a lot of rogue plays with Castira could potentially be a thing. So yeah, I don't know how much I hate or love that Unicorn is back at free. It was fine when it was a 2. So I don't know what Konami is doing at that point. Mind Control and Pot of Desires back on free. Mind Control and Pot of Desires is basically some of the cards that I really love, especially because the Mind Control is basically like Change of Heart, just a little bit more unbusted, you can call it that, because of that you cannot attack with it, and it cannot change, it cannot be tributed or stuff like that. Putting it at free really opens up the gates of the rogue decks again, and the same thing with Pot of Desires. I have Grand Machu decks in mind, so that is putting Desires back on free really helps out those kind of decks. Spellbook of Judgment, Sprite Starter, and Upstart Goblin. Spellbook of Judgment basically lets you add a spellbook, right? I haven't read the card that much, even though that I've pulled a gazillion of them from Rarity Collection. Only like 5, sorry guys. Sprites, so I don't know anything about it. Sprite Starter, however, putting it back at free will say that Sprite potentially could become a tier 1 or tier 0 deck once again, as they were back in the day. Sprite Starter at free really helps out Sprite combos. I really love that, but if they was going to do something big, then they could potentially limit blue or semi-limit blue. I don't know, guys. Putting a starter back at free really helps out some of the Sprite decks, basically. And putting Upstart Goblin back at free helps out stuff like Exodia plays and all of those. I'm just going to draw strategies. But yeah, guys, that was everything for my opinions for the ban list. What's your opinions out there? And let me know down below in the comments. What is your opinion on the entire ban list? I would say it's a fine ban list. It's actually really good. So, without further ado, that was everything for this video, and we will see you next time. Peace out.